Hello, welcome to Jason the Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my bedroom in the great state of Kansas. And in this video, I'm kind of continuing what I've been talking about with my favorite movies of each year, the 1930s. I went through the whole decade, 1930, 1939. Hopefully you watched those videos. I really enjoyed putting that together, and I really appreciate everybody that commented. I got some great comments from people that some people don't comment very often, commented on them, which I really appreciate. And I'm glad there's other people out there that do watch some of these older movies from the 1930s and can discuss them with me. That's really cool. Anyways, and yeah, so it's been fun putting these videos together, and I plan on doing it more, with the 40s, 50s, and so on, all the way to the current, decade. And I'm also going to do that with albums, and I'm thinking about maybe doing it with songs as well. We'll see. I'll have to do some research on that. But I got a lot of stuff planned, anyways, for the future of these videos. Anyways, and one of the things I like to do after I go through all the 30s and talk about my favorite movie each year, I wanted to rank all 10 movies that made it to my favorite movie of the year. So each year I have a favorite movie, and so then I ranked all of them 10 through 1, kind of for fun anyways, and just kind of talk about these movies a little bit more. And definitely movies, if you want to get into the 1930s, these are pretty good movies to start with, and I would recommend anybody anyway. So yeah, so it's been kind of a weird decade again, because the early 30s I haven't seen, 30s in general I just haven't seen as many movies from this decade. It's just, it is a long time ago, and I try to come across as many as I can here and there, but there are definitely, for every good movie, there's definitely some very boring movies from the 30s that's hard to sit through, because it's just very, just the sound technology is not very good a lot of times. There's not a lot of musical scores in a lot of the earlier films, I think. It's just, a lot of movies feel like stage plays, that they took a play and they just made a movie out of it, Things will definitely go up with technology and all that as we go through the different decades. And interesting, because we'll go through a lot of World War II stuff when we get to the 40s. Lots of stuff about World War II and World War I as well. You get a lot more war movies, I think, in fact. But anyways, not to say, though, there's some really great movies that came out this decade, and I had a lot of fun kind of talking about. Anyway, so we're going to start our list with my number 10 on my list, which is Animal Crackers, which was my favorite movie of 1930. Makes it to the bottom of my list of the 10 movies. And all that's because I'm not super familiar with this movie, and I'm not the biggest Marx Brothers fan. I admire them at times, the physical comedy that they do, especially Groucho Marx does have a lot of great one-liners anyways. And yeah, I need to watch more of them probably to really get more into, if I like them or not. Maybe I just need to give them another chance, like with this one. And of course, you definitely have to watch Night of the Opera and Duck Soup, I think, are the big ones that everybody talks about anyways. But Animal Crackers, I think, is still one of their best comedies that they did at this time period, and the earliest one. I mean, all the way 1930, pretty early movie, barely into the talkies, basically. I don't know if this might even be like the first movie. I don't know. Anyways, but still, yeah, it's number 10 because it's just not one I'm super familiar with, and it's one of the weaker ones but it was hard to come up with a movie. 1930, it was a difficult year. Number 9 on my list, I am going with Grand Hotel. This was my favorite movie of 1932. Again, early 30s, very hard to find really great movies. So this kind of won by default because I've seen it and I thought it was okay, It does have a really great cast. I do love the cast overall, especially Lionel Barrymore. I think steals every scene that he's in. And the whole movie takes place in one place, a hotel, where all their stories kind of come together anyways. So yeah, it's an okay movie. I wouldn't say it's like you have to watch this, but if you're going to watch something from this year, I guess this is one to watch. Number 8, I'm going to go with City Lights. This is my favorite movie of 1931. And yeah, again, I'm not the hugest fan of silent movies, and Charlie Chaplin, though, I think is definitely, if you're going to watch anybody in silent films, Charlie Chaplin's one to go to, because his physical comedy still works today, I think. And it's kind of timeless comedy because it's physical comedy. And the Tramp character is a fun character to watch on screen, and some great bits in here. overall, and it even has like a nice story where he's helping a blind girl anyway, so that's kind of nice as well. This is definitely considered his best movie, and I do like his classics for the most part. And there's one in the 40s I really like as well that I'll get to when I get to the 1940s. But I'm not, again, because it's a silent film, that's probably why it's so low on my list here. People who are big silent film fans probably have that higher, but that will remain there at number 8 on my list. Number 7, I have The Private Life of Henry VIII. Yeah, kind of a surprise movie nobody probably ever heard of or knows about. Yeah, I caught it on TCM and was kind of surprised at how much I liked it. I think a lot because I'm a big fan of Charles Lawton. I think he's a just excellent actor. You can do drama, you can do comedy. He played mostly villains, but here he plays more not a villainous character so much, even though he is Henry VIII, which does some villainous things. But this is more of a comedy than a drama, surprisingly. And he is very good at it, anyways. And yeah, again, I'm not gonna say it's a have to watch, but I don't know. I think it's a worthwhile watch, anyways. And I actually quite like this movie, so it's there at number 7. Number 6, another movie that really surprised me, and that was Ruggles or Redcap. This is another movie that I just came across, and it was like, wow, this is way better than I ever expected it to be. Such a fun, charming comedy. Again, Charles Lawton. Charles Lawton just nails it again. Here, he's playing a very, like I said, he's so good at playing villainous characters. I know mostly kind of as that kind of a character, but yeah, he does something like this, and you go, wow, he can be very charming and very good in comedic roles. And there's other ones like Witness for the Prosecution that he's very good in as well. That's more comedic, and so he can do a little bit of both. He's such a great actor. This one I do highly recommend. I think it is such a fun movie. Definitely give this one a chance. All right, number 5 on the list, we're going with Bringing Up Baby. Yeah, what a great comedy. This is a must-watch of the 30s period. If you're going to watch, there's a lot of very popular comedies. I didn't mention The Awful Truth is another really popular Cary Grant screwball comedy. We're going to get Philadelphia Story in 1940 coming up with Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn and Jimmy Stewart. That kind of goes along with the style. And then like His Girl Friday comes out in the 40s. There's a lot of these great Cary Grant screwball comedies, as they call them. He was the GOAT when it comes to the comedies, I think, of this period. And he does such a great job. And Katharine Hepburn, I mean, two of the biggest actors and actresses of their time period. And this is a very, very funny movie. Definitely check out Bringing Up Baby. Surely you've heard of it. It's a very popular movie of this period. I don't think I'm alone saying that. That's one of the great comedies. Number 4, I'm going to go with Captain's Courageous. This was my favorite movie of 1937. I think I forgot to say, City Lights was 1931. Private Life of Henry VIII was 1933. Ruggles of Red Gap was 1935, and Bring Up Baby was 1938. So now we're going with 1937 movie, Captain's Courageous. Man, what a great movie. This was one of those movies that really, again, I didn't know what to expect out of it. And I love that about these old movies when I'm like, I don't have high expectations. And then I watch it, and then I go, oh my gosh, that was so good. Way better than I ever thought. Anyway, so I highly recommend this one. I think everybody watch this one. It is great. It's even been kind of influenced other movies in some senses. And Cabin Boy, if you've ever seen Cabin Boy with Chris Elliott, it's a terrible movie. But Cabin Boy is basically kind of, I don't know, based on this movie. Yeah, Chris Elliott definitely was a big fan of this movie and took a lot of the ideas to make his movie Cabin Boy, which was horrible. But I appreciate that about Chris Elliott. Going to a movie like this that not many people know about and trying to make kind of a remake almost of it in some senses. But yeah, Spencer Tracy, so good. Won the Oscar for this role. Very deserving. One of the best actors of this time period anyways. Great story. All right, so top 3, just to say, are all Frank Capra movies. So the 3 Frank Capra movies that made my favorite movie of the year all are in my top 3. So it's easy to say Frank Capra is my favorite director of the 1930s. I absolutely love his style, and even You Can't Take It With You, which won Best Picture in '38, doesn't make it here, but it's still another really good movie. So I can say there's 4 really good Frank Capra movies come out in the '30s period that I would recommend to anybody, including number 3 on my list, which is It Happened One Night, which was my favorite movie in 1934, and it was the Big Picture winner. It won all the big 5 Oscars, the first one to ever do it, which is pretty cool, and it's just a great romantic comedy. Clark Gable, so good in this role, with Claudette Colbert, or Colbert, however you pronounce her name. This is, a must Frank Capra film, obviously. It's one of his biggest well-known films, and yeah, it's got some iconic scenes in it, and just kind of the really good blueprint for a good romantic comedy that I think all other romantic comedies probably will base on this kind of idea anyway. So yeah, love that film. Number 2 on my list is going to go to Mr. Deeds Goes to Town, and this is my favorite movie of 1936. Another great romantic kind of comedy, the time with Gary Cooper. It's funny, all 3 have different actors, but they're some of the best actors of the 30s, 40s period. I mean, Clark Gable, Gary Cooper, and then of course I'm going to talk about Jimmy Stewart on my number 1 list. I love the story of a guy, small town guy, inherits millions of dollars, doesn't really want it that bad, and kind of spends it in a way that other people don't like. So they try to use legal reasons to get his inheritance out from him, to say that he's crazy. They say he's insane. He's giving his money away. He has to be insane, clinically insane. And then they have to go through a trial to see if he is clinically insane. And if he is, then he loses the inheritance anyways, as he's giving it kind of away to charities and stuff like that. And the rich people don't like that. Don't give to charity. What are you doing? It's a great romantic comedy. Another must watch of the 30s period, which brings me to my number 1 favorite movie of these 10 movies, and that is Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. My favorite movie in 1939. Of course, 39, a very stacked year of great movies, and this is one I definitely go back to the most out of all of them. Even Wizard of Oz. I love Wizard of Oz. It's an incredible movie. It's crazy that it didn't win 1939, but that's just how good this movie is. Jimmy Stewart giving just a great performance here, and I love the political drama. The story is just so good. Oh my gosh, what a great story of an underdog character who's kind of getting screwed by the political system and has to fight back using honesty and patriotism and all the things that you like, that you would like about a political figure he has. Anyways, even though he's a young, naive kind of senator, you love how he fights back against the corruption that's going on there and how he wins in the end, of course. Great performances, great story, great dialogue, great direction. One of Frank Capra's best movies. It is a must. It is like a top 15 favorite movie of mine of all time, which proves there's some really great stuff in the 30s, including this is one of the best, and definitely watch it. So that's me ranking all 10 of my favorite movies of each year from 30 to 39. I hope you enjoyed me kind of going through that again. And again, I do this just to really recommend all these movies to anybody who wants to get into the older movies. I think these are just fantastic. Some of the bottom ones aren't so much fantastic, but still, I think, worth a watch. And you get a little bit of history of film through them and how film has changed over the years, I think, which is really fun. As someone who loves film history as myself. Anyways, but yeah, besides that, thanks so much for watching these videos. I really appreciate everybody that's commented on them. I appreciate anybody that's watched them and liked them. And I hope you watch the further videos. Enjoy me talking more about these, my favorite movies of these years anyways. And just thank you to all my subscribers for supporting the channel. I appreciate you all. I hope you have a good day.